Exactly 1 year after the United States pulled out of the 2015 nuclear deal, Iran says it will suspend some of its commitments under the landmark agreement. After the U.S. introduced new sanctions earlier this week, designed to target the framework of the deal itself, effectively forcing Iran's hand, President Hassan Rouhani let world powers know his country will not abide by stockpile limits on enriched uranium and heavy water. He said Iran could also resume the production of uranium enriched to a higher level than it currently manufactures, and rebuild a heavy water reactor without the oversight of its partners in the nuclear deal.
The
United States wanted to pull out of the JCPOA to make Iran withdraw the day after, so they could refer the case to the UN Security Council in order to redouble pressure on Iran. However, Iran did not fall into this trap and did not play in the United States court.
In practical terms, it is a first step by Iran in response to more than a year of mounting U.S. pressure. And in Moscow, Iran found support from a strong friend at a critical time. Russia blamed the United States for single-handedly undermining the 2015 nuclear deal and said U.S. sanctions against Iran are unacceptable and illegitimate.
All of this has been lamentable behavior by the U.S. We hear regular statements from the U.S. to stop and cease any Iranian influence, not just in Syria, but across the region. It's unrealistic to terminate this influence, and it has no chance as a serious policy.
Iran may be economically isolated, but the message from Russia is that Iran is not alone. Together, the foreign ministers of both countries put European signatories to the Iran deal on notice.
We
made a decision to implement the JCPOA, not to stop its implementation, not to work against it, not like the Americans who withdrew from it.
In a letter to ambassadors of the UK, France, Germany, China, and Russia, President Rouhani said those countries have 60 days to implement their promises to protect Iran's oil and banking sectors from U.S. sanctions. He said steps Iran is taking remain in line with the wording of the nuclear deal. Iran remains committed to it and to maintaining peace in the region. But experts in Tehran say the country is also preparing for things to get worse before they get better. Iran's announcement comes as American forces have been deployed to the region in response to what the U.S. says is a threat posed by Iran. The leaders of both the United States and Iran have said they want to avoid a conflict, but both sides continue to send strong signals they are ready for one. And as tensions heighten between Tehran and Washington, the latest announcement from President Hassan Rouhani puts even more pressure on European countries and remaining signatories to the nuclear deal to do something to salvage an agreement that's been in jeopardy since U.S. President Donald Trump took office. Zein, Basravi, Al Jazeera, Tehran.